Got the roof skin on top of the buck, and I'm gonna climb up here on top of this horse. Hope it doesn't throw me. One more step. All right, just to show you guys how the roof skin is sitting up here. And at first glance, it doesn't look too bad. Nice curvature coming back. This here waviness just means we have excess material. This will be trimmed back a little bit and we'll blend the two surfaces in together. So that's not too bad. The front's coming down quite nicely. We can increase a little bit more, but overall it's looking good. But as we come back here, you can see we're too flat. This is shooting out too straight. So we have to take and raise this up a little bit more so it flows in with the sail panel. Okay, we wheeled up the roof once more. Got it up on top. And the back right there is sitting much better. We have that nice crown back there. And even though this back is coming up, this is what's holding it up. So once that rolls in to the proper location, that'll come down. And the front, that's looking quite nice as well. So we're gonna go inside and I'll show you how things look against the buck on the inside of the roof. Okay, check out that edge. Nice and consistent all the way along, except for at the back there where I mentioned, right there, where I mentioned that that side sail panel area is holding us up. That needs to be welded up there, the daylight area. That has to be finished yet, but you know, all in good time. And you can see the roof is actually supporting itself. It has a nice consistent gap between the buck and the roof skin. So next steps forward are going to be to take and scribe this edge to the sail panel once this passenger side sail panel is finished, and then we'll leave a few tabs every so far so that we can take and screw it to the side sail panels, and then we'll work in between the tabs and weld it to the sail panels, but not before we form the front and rear edges to create the windshield and the rear window seats. So that has to roll down, in, and down to create a seat for the windshield. That shine is quite nice underneath there, eh? So, okay, it's going to sit a little more consistently once we get the side sail panel on here, because we're kind of sitting lopsided. Once that's up there, then we can take and check the curvatures and make sure that we're sitting in the right locations. Okay, let's get to work on the side sail panel. It's time to get up here, pull those clamps off, get that roof down on the bench, and start trimming up the edges as well as working the front and rear flanges. So we're going to be following this red line almost exactly because it's the exact contour of the side panels. But what I want to do right now is just to connect a few of the missing areas here. I'm going to leave a tab so we can rest the center of the roof up on the side panels as well as the sides here. So I just want to create a small tab like that. One in the front. Here, this tab would be a little bit larger. The ones on the ends don't need to be as big. So just basic reference. Now what we do on one side, we have to have the exact one on the other side as well. And we can't take and trim away all this material through here. We need to allow for this to roll down. So actually I'm gonna get some 1/2-inch tape that'll help us with that. Connect that there. Just when you're running the shear, you want a nice line to follow. You don't want to have any areas missing. Seems to be a funny bump here, so I'm going to have to double check that, see what's going on. The marker could have tipped to one side, so what I'm going to do is just add that there, and then connect these lines here, like that. And like this. Now, this is where the side panel is here, and we're going to take and add that to the front, and then we're going to roll down our 1/2-inch line. We had our clamp there. Okay, so we can cut that off, cut this off, leave a tab here, and one at the back. Well, this roof panel just got a whole lot smaller. We've left the tabs around the perimeter. Those are all set to go for when we get this back up on the car there. This rear area, I need to double check this, but I've pulled that panel off so that we can start working on the flanges for the front and rear window seals. So once we get that done, we'll get it back up on the buck, get this up on the buck. In the meantime, we can get this front flange started in the tipping wheel. Okay, you lined up there? Okay, start it. So we've only got one shot at getting this line right. If it wavers or wanders, you have to undo a whole bunch of stuff. The first pass is always the hardest. Okay, that's the first one. We can do it again. This time we got to stand it up a little bit higher. Yep. Good. Okay, so you can see this little puckering going on there. We're going to have to take and start shrinking this in the shrinker just to get the curve corrected now because we've kind of flattened things out. So we just finished trimming up that roof section and got it up on the car. And you can see those tabs are helping us a lot. So let me step up here and show you a little closer what's going on. Okay, well, it's almost a seamless finish all the way through. And you can see where we don't have a tab, it's kind of dangling down inside. So those tabs are supporting the roof skin on top of these pieces right here. These little wings, that's for aerodynamics. Actually, these upturned ends are for us to get the tin snips in to cut them off afterwards. Once we start welding things together, it just gives us a start to get the snips in. See that? Looking good. Now I'm going to take you over to the other side and show you a little different story. We still have a little bit of wheeling to do before we start welding, but you can see the reflections. If I can get this to spin around, right there, the reflections are coming through not too badly. Right there, look at that. So there's still some stuff in here that's got to be washed out, but we're getting very close. So let me jump onto the other side and show you what's going on over there. Okay, so on the passenger side here, the front, we're just going to push that down and stick it together. And then we're coming along back here, and things were nice until we get to here. And you can see we have this little wedge. So what happened is this panel was tipped in a little bit too far. It was caught on this radius here, didn't catch it. And then when we scribed this, it actually, well, we cut away too much. So not a problem, we'll fill that in afterwards. But overall, it's coming together quite nicely. Okay, so let's get this roof panel scribed back here where the window is, right through here. We'll get that finished off, wheel the roof a little bit more, and then we're going to get this party started and start welding it in place. Now we have to be very careful we don't over wheel the crown, because then we're going to start taking away from the sides and we'll have a larger gap. So we can deal with this over here, that's not a problem. But if we start taking away and creating too much crown, first we're going to have a hump in the roof. After this point it'll raise up too sharply. Right now it just comes across very well. But if we wheel the center up too much, we will take away from here, open the gap up, and then we're going to be in trouble. So right now all we have to do is just simply wash the roof and kind of normalize all those little imperfections. Okay, so we did a little finagling, and for those young people who don't know what that means, just means a little messing around. And we got that roof panel to fit much better than it did before. We had that large wedge on the passenger side. Well, we got rid of that. See, the driver's side looks very nice. We haven't started the joint yet, welding the joint together yet, but we got all the top panels fitted together. And on the passenger side, you can see how well things are coming along. That gap, we sealed it right up to about here. And we have about a 3/16 little opening. So we'll get some filler material cut up and just fill that in. You can't weld that hole up with a weld. It has to be replaced with metal. So, and the back window here, I started working on that. Hope they don't fall off here. So you can see that's coming along quite nicely. The reverse curve. So at this point we can start welding the roof together. Okay, I'll bring you guys up here to show the panel gap coming together well there. There's a bit of a catch there, so if we welded this up the way it was, we'd never finish it properly. So this all has to be plenished out, brought up until the two surfaces are seamless, and then apply a few more tacks. And moving forward, we'll get rid of that tab. It's no longer necessary. And here it's not too bad, but then up front we're again dipping down, so we'll have to plenish that tack there, bring it up, re-tack, another one, until the surface is perfect. And then we'll weld the whole thing up. And the reflections track correctly. And then we'll finish up the ends over there as well as at the back of the car. So there's a whole lot of work right now, and it's going to take a lot of time, so we'll bring you guys in afterwards, show you how it's finished. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching. We've come a long way with this roof, from actually shaping it up to getting it up here to fitting it to actually tacking it in place. And like I said, it's just a matter of welding now. So we're going to get this welded up, finished, and we'll bring you guys in to show you the finished product.